Namanda, 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 namanda. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Dharma family service. You can't tell if you're online, but a lot of people are not here today because we had a special trip to the Buddhist Church of San Francisco to visit their stupa, and yet I felt like we should still have service here and also online. So if you're joining us here in person or online, thank you very much. Welcome. We'll begin with sutra chanting, and we'll chant Juseige, which is on page 23 in the small book and page 93 in the large book. Namanda, namanda, namanda. Gagon chosegan Hishimu jodo Shigan fumanzok Seifu joshogak Gaomu yoko Fui dai seshu Fusai shobingu Seifu joshogak Gashi jobutsudo Myosho chojippo Kukyo mishomon Seifu joshogak Ryokujin shonen Joe shubongyo Shigumu jodo Isho teninshi Jinniki endaiko Fushomu saido Shoujo sankumyo Kosai shunyakunan Kai hichi egen Meshi konmoan Heisoku shoakudo Tsudatsu zen shumon Koso jomanzok Iyoro jippo Nichigatsu shujuki Tenko onpugen Ishu kai hozo Koseku dokuho Jo dai shuchu Seppo shishiku Kuyo isai butsu Gusoku shutoku hon Gane shitsujoman Toku isangai yo Nyobutsu mugechi Tsudatsu zeimi fusho Gangaku erik Toshi sai shoson Shigan yakoka Daisen okando Koku shotenin To uchin myoke Namanda ナ Namandabu, Namandabu, Namandabu. Ganni shikudoku byodo seisai dohoten bodaishin ojo an dakok. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Namanda. So next, let's do the Gatha, and we're going to sing. It's from the blue book, and it's called "I'm a Link in the Golden Chain," blue folder, and it's under I. They're alphabetical, so. Gentle to all living things, will unite us all as golden rings. I'm a link in the golden chain. Gratitude may we all attain. Bright and strong my link will grow through pure and loving deeds I know. Pure and beautiful thoughts I will think, and pure and beautiful words I will say, and pure and beautiful deeds I will do for the world and for you. Spreading kindness and love every day to all living things that come our way. Amida's chain of love is bright. Through peace and love we will see the light. And next, why don't we recite the actual golden chain on page 15 in the big purple book. So sorry to switch around books so much. Let's see. I'll give you a second while I see if I can find it on my computer. Oh. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sharing it on the screen too for people at home. So Golden Chain 2. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you very much once again for joining us. And so today there's a couple things that I'd like to talk about, and I have like big piles of paper today. We're going kind of old school today. Sometimes we have the monitor up, sometimes I make a PowerPoint, but not today. Since we are doing this service kind of differently than usual with the normal folks not here, I thought I'd go kind of old school and just talk. But I'm actually also going to play some music from my computer. It is kind of music-based, my talk today. And so, yep, there we go. Anyone heard of the band Yes? Right? I've seen all good people. Or the best one you probably know is owner of a lonely heart, much better than an owner of a broken heart. Right? That was a huge song. That was their biggest song, I think. They have other songs, Roundabout, I've Seen All Good People, but definitely Owner of a Lonely Heart is probably their biggest song. They were already around for like 15 years by then. They'd survived punk, new wave, the changing times when prog rock was no longer, progressive rock was no longer a thing, and managed to reinvent themselves and have this huge hit, and kept going. And actually the band is nominally still around, but at least one of the main people, Chris Squire, the bass player, passed away several years ago, and the drummer, Alan White, also passed away. I think most of the other members are surviving, but in the band that's calling themselves Yes, only one nominally original member. And he's not even an original member. He joined for the third album. So it's like everyone else wasn't in the band until more recently. But who I really want to talk about is John Anderson. He's the singer on 98% of Yes's albums, and is still performing. We saw him at the Fox Theater in Oakland a few weeks ago, and it was pretty much a sellout crowd, I think. He's now touring under, it's John Anderson and the Band Geeks, which is a horrible name for a band, but an amazing band. They're really, really just this amazing group of musicians. They play a lot of the classic Yes epic songs. So probably the shortest song they did was Owner of a Lonely Heart. Everything else was at least 10 minutes. Some of the songs are like 20 minutes long. It's almost like classical music or something. And so they do the Yes hits, but they also put out an album. They put out a new album called True. And so getting ready for the concert, I looked online and found out they're doing 3 of the songs from that album. And now with the magic of streaming and stuff like Spotify, YouTube, you can listen to anything without buying it, right? We didn't used to be able to do that. You could listen to the radio, but you didn't get to choose, right? But nowadays, you can listen to basically anything you want, anytime. So I called up those 3 songs and listened in the car for a couple days before the concert to kind of try and get ready, and realized, wow, I really like these songs. And they performed them, and it was amazing. The music of Yes was amazing that they played, and this new music that they were doing was amazing. I was moved to tears several times during the concert. I realized I'm not often moved to tears listening to music, but this music, both the Yes music and the new stuff, I find profoundly moving. I went up to Portland and Seattle this past weekend, partly to work, partly to guest speak in Seattle, and I might talk about that a little later, but also to visit family. I have an aunt and a cousin who live there. It took 10 hours to get up, 11 hours to get back. I think I stopped more and was more tired because I'd only been up there a week, and we listened to that True album, this new album, 3 times on the way back. And it's the kind, some music you hear it once and you're like, yeah. I think a lot of new pop music is probably like that, right? Light on substance, it's got a decent melody, that's about it, right? It's usually the same sounds you've heard before, but to me, good music is often music you can listen to again and again and again, right? And that was the case with this one. Listened to it 3 times on the way back, and one of the songs really struck me. And so I'd like to play a little bit of it for you now. Let's see. I'm going to play the intro first, and it does the line that I'm thinking of. So here we go. Various with the classical guitar. All right, I'm going to stop it there. That gives you an idea. And that's John Anderson's voice, this kind of angelic, heavenly voice. He's 80 years old. We saw him in concert. He's 80 years old. We got a ride back by Uber coming on the way back. And a lot of times Uber drivers are kind of, is it taciturn or taciturn, right? Taciturn, kind of low-key, sometimes almost grumpy, you know. But this guy was pretty nice. He seemed like a Jamaican accent and dreadlocks. So I told him, "Oh, we went to a concert." And he goes, "Oh, wow, really?" And I was like, "Should I try to talk about Yes?" And I was like, "No, you know what? He was 80 years old." And the guy was, 80 years old? Are you serious? Really? He lived to be 80? I want to live to be 80. I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't know if I'll make it. I'm only 40, but wow, that's amazing. Like, he was so impressed by the fact that this guy is 80 years old and still making music and even lived to be that age. I sit and think sometimes, I don't know if I want to live to be 80. I don't know what kind of condition I'll be in, but I got a lot of friends here at church, Dharma friends, who are in their 80s, 90s. One out in Concord just celebrated 100th birthday. Another one here celebrated 104th, I think. And so I know people of all ages, right, from little children up to centenarians, you know, and so I was like, wow, yeah, you know, like that appreciation that he had for someone in their 80s, right, still performing, still vital, right? So anyway, the lyrics for this is, "Oh, let this be heaven. Oh, let this be light." And the song is called "Make It Right." And so I was listening to this song in the car and just really kind of moved by this song as well. It's not even, I think, one of the best songs on the album, but the more I listen to it, the more I like it. I'm not going to play you the verse parts, but they were painting a tapestry to the four lords of everlife that were first thought of the songs of the wind. They were breathing of the force of history could ever be like. Never have the songs of old been heard or seen again. So it reads kind of like poetry. His writing is kind of mystical, often grammatically incorrect, but more poetic. And he's into a lot of New Age spirituality. I was just watching an interview with him, and he was talking about some of the stuff that he's been influenced by, and a lot of it is really kind of New Age, right? It's not. It might have roots in Buddhism or Hinduism, but probably aliens and all kinds of different stuff, pyramids or whatever, third eye meditations, and stuff that we don't really talk about here, but I'm vaguely aware of. And so listening to him talk about that is interesting, kind of thinking, wow, what's he talking about? Oh, let this be heaven. What is he talking about? This? What does this mean? Right? Does he mean this life? Does it mean his life? He's been married to the same woman for like 30 years, and I think really still deeply in love with her. She was at the concert. He's like dancing with her on the stage during one of the songs and that kind of thing. So it might be about that. I'm not sure. But let me play a little more of it. I want to play towards the end. There we go. Okay.
To be alive, like be this life. Oh, let this be Eden.
another song that's actually kind of a continuation. But so that has more, right? They brought in the orchestra and the choir and everything just for a couple of lines. But so again, the lyrics are, let this be heaven. And here he says, let this be life instead of light. Oh, let this be Eden. Gotta make it right. Gotta make it right. And so maybe it was by the third time I started really listening to the lyrics, third time listening through, and I'm not into heaven. I'm not Christian, right? Eden, right? Eden is a very biblical kind of term. And yet I was so moved by it, right? I was so moved by this music for some reason. It's not just the lyrics, obviously. There's something about his voice, right? I can't even sing those notes in falsetto. Right? I can squeak them out, but his voice is just really, really high, but this kind of purity to it and this almost like angelic quality. The composition, I know I'm also moved by the harmonic movement of the compositions. He's not composing the music by himself. He's getting help from the band. And the band, I think, is just really amazing. But he doesn't read music. I was listening in the interview, so he's not a trained musician at all. But he's hearing these melodies and coming out with these melodies and constructing songs with these melodies, kind of directing the band. And then they come up with these amazing lyrics. So the thing that got me is, part of me feels like when I listen to the lyrics, it's not my worldview as a Buddhist. And I wasn't born Buddhist, right? I wasn't brought up Buddhist. I encountered it in college and have been diving in for the past 30, 35 years. But it was so interesting to listen to the music and feel something from it, even though I also feel like it's not my culture. Now, I did grow up with Lord of the Rings and Conan the Barbarian and kind of fantasy kind of milieu, and just kind of fantasy worlds that I imagined, right? And that's one thing that I felt like with Buddhism when I learned about Buddhas and bodhisattvas and monks and nuns and dragons and the kind of more mythological aspects of Buddhism. It didn't turn me off. Right? I think some people are actually turned off by that kind of stuff. They want a scientific, rational kind of thing. For me, it was like, this is cool. This is kind of like the music I listen to, but it's its own world. It's its own worldview. It's a world where it's not just the material and the cold, right, atoms, and we can analyze it into compounds and figure out how to sell it, or how to use it to destroy things. It's this other world where Buddhas and bodhisattvas want us to be happy, right? Where the universe wants us to not suffer, right? And if you look at that, so one of the great things was having a connection with Japan, having gone to high school there. I could care less about art when I was in high school. I could care less about history. When I got into Buddhism, that's when I realized, whoa, actually art is really cool. It's showing me stuff about Buddhism and like illuminating a lot of these. Actually, it was artwork that got me into it in the first place in some ways. And so just kind of interesting to think about this other world that he's singing about, and yet I feel a connection to somehow. I'm touched, like deeply, right? Not intellectually, but something deeper giving me this connection. I was listening last night to his music, and a thought came to me. Unconditional love. Unconditional love, right? That if a system isn't teaching with unconditional love as a part of it, I'm not convinced it's worth it, right? A system that has conditional love. Only if I somehow feel like you deserve it, okay then, but you don't deserve it. You certainly don't. I don't think I would in the current system, right? And so to me, I just find it horrifying when people are utilizing religion without unconditional love at its base. And this thought, unconditional love, popped into my head as I was listening to John Anderson's lyrics last night, his music, I mean. And it wasn't because of what he was singing about, it just kind of came to me, right? And I believe that Buddhism has unconditional love at the base, right? The compassion of the Buddha, the great compassion of the Buddha is unconditional. It's not even just for human beings. right? I said this at the Pets Memorial last time, right? The compassion of the Buddha is for all living beings, all beings, right? Whether they're human or animals or insects or ghosts or in hell or heavenly deities, whether they take that literally or figuratively, Buddha's compassion embraces all, right? And that to me is just a key part. Of course, we're human, and as humans, it's very difficult to have unconditional love for all beings, right? I think especially bugs, maybe, pests, right? We can certainly think of animals that we don't, I mean, if we eat meat, then we don't have unconditional love. We have conditions. You don't get it because I want to eat you, right? I'm taking you for the flavor, right? I may not need you nutritionally, but I love the way it tastes, so I'm going to eat it, right? That's not unconditional love, right? That's conditional, and some animals don't get it, right? And yet, that unconditional love, that great compassion is at the base, and I feel like motivating for me as a Buddhist. I feel like it's a Buddhist value, right? This compassion, even if I can't live up to it, and maybe that's where things get sticky. When do I allow myself not to have unconditional love, right? When do I allow myself to hurt others? When is it okay to not care about others? And I think the reality, if I really look at myself, is I often don't, right? How can I? Right? When we look at the homeless population just in this city, right? I can't possibly care for all of them, right? Take care of them. And yet, I also can't just throw them away and be like, you probably deserve it. No, right? There's so, as a Buddhist too, on the wisdom side, so many causes and conditions that bring us to where each one of us is now, right? And for me to judge someone else, to me, is just horrible. Right? And I just really, and I feel like America has so many, horrible things in its past, and yet we can look at them and aspire for an America, a world where it doesn't have to be like that, where everyone can be equal, right? I know it's really hard. I just don't think we need to go in the opposite direction. So anyway, back to music. There's one more song I'd like to play. And so part of me, when I hear this music and I think, I do have a worldview, this Buddhist worldview, and I wish I could write epic prog rock songs about it, or even epic electronic music songs about it. I'm not a lyricist. I never say never, right? But it's just, that's not how my musicality manifests at this point. But there are a couple of people who it does, and so this past weekend I was in Seattle, and we did a music kind of service. So I was there playing my bass, but then we also had Miharu Okamura and Miko Shudo. Miharu is basically a member here at Buddhist Church of Oakland for her whole life. Miko is from Southern California, but they're a kind of musical duo. They have this song called Golden. So I gave you the lyrics. That's partly why we recited Golden Chain and the I'm a link in the golden chain. And so this song Golden too is, I think, taking from this BCA Jodo Shinshu worldview, right? And Miharu wrote this kind of amazing song. I think it's really amazing. So we can just listen. You can sing along if you want, but I think it's okay to just listen too. I'm just going to play the music. I'll put the lyrics on the screen for people at home. Let's see. Not that one. Golden lyrics. And I'm playing bass on it. I'll put the link in the description later so you can click on the video of the actual videotaped performance. And please watch it a bunch of times and like it so that it gets lots of views and more people see it with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me share the screen first. Okay.
Try to be kind. We are all connected together. Let's keep our names bright. Tell your mother she's special. If your father loved you too, chosen family is waiting. golden, we're golden, we're golden. Golden centimeters change. We're golden, we're golden, we're golden, we're golden, we're golden. Golden centimeters change. Meters change. Meters change.
So thank you for listening. Let's stop sharing. So I will say, I think their voices are amazing, so beautiful, and they harmonize so well together, and it's fun to watch their talk. They talked too. Like I didn't have to be the only speaker at this event, both on Saturday and the service on Sunday. I will say, as I said, music of John Anderson makes me tear up. This music does too, and I know it. There's a spot in the video when I know I started crying as we were playing, and I just, it passed. But I think it's really, really moving. I had no idea that like a song like this would come out of Golden Chain, right? And just knowing that both Miharu and Miko are, really just deeply influenced by their experiences at Temple growing up and becoming adults and staying with it and continuing to be influenced by it. I feel like this is kind of what I've been waiting for, right? I've been a minister almost 20 years, and now kind of seeing the fruits, kind of blown away that I'm a part of it too, right? That I'm part of the influence on them. And so I really, really appreciate them doing this song. I really appreciate you listening today. A little bit different Dharma Talk than usual maybe, but just that's me too. That one of the things I said at the thing is that I consider myself half Buddhist, half basist. I'm also half white, half Japanese, but the half Buddhist, half basist thing, right? Those are the kind of two most biggest parts of my life, I think, of who I am, and being a musician and being a Buddhist minister, and watching these parts kind of intertwine with each other. And so it's wonderful for me to see it really happen. And when I do listen to music, a lot of times I'm kind of listening with my Buddhist self. So why don't we conclude the Dharma message? If I can point to one thing, it's unconditional love is the theme. If we find conditional love is like the basis of it, and also conditional hate, then to me, not a system I want to be a part of. That we really, really need to get back to this kind of embrace, right? I understand nations often don't embrace what they perceive as the enemy, but when you start making your own people the enemy, that's really frightening. And this unconditional love, I feel like, is part of Christianity, which is supposedly one of the big parts of this new system, right? But without the unconditional love, it doesn't seem to make sense to me. So, unconditional love, great compassion, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo. Do you want to do another one, or we can conclude? What would you like to do? This is Steve Terusaki, by the way, playing organ, also president of Buddhist Churches of America. Okay, we'll do Ondokusan II, and Ondokusan II. It's on 220 in the big book, page 76 in the small book. It's Japanese. It's a song based on a poem by Shinran Shonin, the founder of this school. So maybe the big purple book is good because it has kind of a translation of the lyrics. Shasu Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you. Just a few brief announcements. Thank you very much. I think apparently I wasn't here, but last week's salmon bento sale went really well. And I want to thank everyone involved, both, especially the people that helped, but also everyone that purchased things and helped out with that event. Coming up, we have service for the first 3 Sundays in May. And it went out in the email that just went out. We'll have our Dharma School first on the May 4th, and then Shotsuki, Dharma Family Service on Mother's Day, and then our Gotane service on May 18th. That's the 3rd Sunday. And our guest speaker is Mushim Ikeda, who is kind of a colleague of mine and friend and teacher, and she's really wonderful. So we'll have both Dharma School and for adults. And then at the end of the month is Memorial Day weekend, our cemetery visits. So we don't have Dharma Family Service on that last Sunday in May. We also have a study class on May 10th, which is a Saturday. So the study class is at 1 p.m. If you're not signed up on our mailing list yet, please do for email, and we send out reminders and information about the various events. Anything else? I think that's good. Coming up in June, we'll just have a couple of services, and then our bazaar on Father's Day weekend on that Saturday. So let's conclude our service, and then we can hang out. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. And you can come up and do incense offering if you haven't had a chance already.